Another beautiful day, October 1st, end of the season. We get to squeak another boat ride in. Here we are in Port Colborne, and yeah, across there, we're near the end of Lake Erie again, just 10 k's further than we were yesterday. That's the USA on the other side there. You can see as the lake narrows down. That second point there, Bina Point, we were just on the other side there. You'll see later. Crystal Beach the day before. And here's the entrance of the Welland Canal connecting Lake Erie to Lake Ontario. Of course, Lake Erie being 200 feet higher. This beautiful feat of engineering was put in. There's actually an older version you can kind of explore and find off to the side, but this is the latest thing, and goes for about 30 kilometers across land. And as we see, there's a lift bridge that's going up for this barge. That's not a big lake freighter, that's just a barge. And the lift bridge is going up. And as you can see, we can see about 20 k's there. And then it just drops off and steps down 200 feet down to Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, the west end, and down to St. Catharines. And just an amazing amount of boat traffic this time of year, all summer and into the late fall. This is the main connection to get up to the upper lakes, Lake Erie, Lake St. Clair, Lake Huron, Lake Superior, and Lake Michigan, all the way to Chicago. Without this Welland Canal, the connection wouldn't be possible. So incredible that there's still amazing boat traffic, and there's signs along this pier here where you can see boats had been tied up in the past, and of course I diminished a bit. And we were out here and we saw probably 4 lake boats went by us there, and had a beautiful day for sailing again. The Hobie Cat, Mirage Tandem Island, just never ceases to amaze me. And as I was saying before, I'm up a little higher now. There's Avian Point there, and the lighthouse is the second point sticking up. And just in the next cove was Crystal Beach, where we were the day before. And this is not only an amazing feat of engineering, it's also a really popular fishing spot. We checked this out the night before, and saw the launch area. And we got here at about 10 in the morning, because it was starting to warm up. It's October, it's still cool in the mornings. And that whole parking lot was packed. And amazing that many people launched in that short a time. We went out all day and came back, and that parking lot was empty. Just, wow. I think they're fishing for perch this time of year late. And there, right to that left, that beach. Nickel Beach, I think it's called. Just beautiful. We stopped there, and a nice little, it was an easy landing. Stayed there for a little picnic time. Came back out, timed the lake freighter coming in as we were coming through, and we actually stopped on that break wall because you can see that one break wall, how it kind of sticks out towards the American side. There was a little door there, so we had to go check it out. I'm guessing it's like a tunnel through the break wall's huge. This picture gives it no justice. It's like 10 feet high. And I think it's a little tunnel that goes out to the point there, or a conduit for all the hydro or whatever. And of course, a lot of history everywhere. And I'm just doing a short flight here. It's hard to find a time when there's no people around, and I'm getting desperate late in the year to try to get a couple flights in. So I just went up here and just spun around a couple times, and just to get a nice aerial view, because you can see right there the hospital. There's a helicopter pad there, so I make this a pretty quick flight. And the next day we end up going to the lower level, Lake Ontario, and we sail in Hamilton Harbor, I guess it is, and had a breakneck windy day. And then the last day, of course, couldn't get a drone up, and then the last day we ended further down, right where we're looking now, around the next couple bends is Long Point, and then we sailed there on our last day, and that was the end of our 5-day tour. Beautiful place, friendly people, really nice at the boat launch. I like the way that people yielded right away to you, didn't get real close and storm you. You can see right here, it's kind of neat, as you probably saw me taking off, there's a little ski water ski area here. There's a tow rope to camp. There it is. You can see it. The tow rope goes across, and nobody was doing it that day. Probably too late in the year, but that was pretty cool. And there's that parking lot to the left in front of the hospital there. Wow, that parking lot was full at 10 o'clock in the morning, and as you can see now, it's empty. It's definitely obviously a popular fishing spot. And look at there off in the distance, you can see the lift bridge all the way up as that barge is tugboat's pushing that barge through. And again, as you can see, very nicely, beautiful park, nicely set up. Little bike paths around there. And dodge the birds as I come in here. I didn't notice it at the time when I was filming, because of course I'm watching on a little 3-inch, 4-inch screen. But as I turn to the left here, off in the distance, there was some guy. He's in a pickup truck, and he's doing some donuts and stuff. And good for you. There he is. He's having fun. I can remember doing stuff like that. I can't be a hypocrite. Bad boy. And here we go for another spectacular landing or catch. No, she says, bring it over here. I'm not walking over there. I'm not standing in the middle of the road, she says. And another fine catch. And I'll see you in the next 5. I got a few more. We get out again in another 3 weeks, and we redo Hamilton. I actually get a video this time. So until then, see you later, and hope you watching the area view has interested some of you. Oh yeah, feel the love energy.